here comes Carmelo Anthony. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the fourth quarter. On the court for the East All-Stars, we've got Al Jefferson. Anthony out there with Dwayne Wade. Then there's Lowry, and it's Irving in at the point guard position.
Dwayne Wade, an 11-time All-Star. You know, in last year's game, he was a little banged up, so even as a starter, he only played 11 minutes in the game. That was a career low. He was looking to rest up the knee and give other guys a chance to play.
And Wade last year at the All-Star game, 10 points on 5 of 6 shooting.
No, that wasn't a big night for Wade in the All-Star game, but back in 2010, he went for 24, 10 assists, and 10 rebounds.
Wow.
And he's had a number of other big moments on big stages throughout his career, too. These defenders had better start closing out on those shooters.
Yeah, that's twice in a row now where they've done exactly the opposite and backed off.
And finished off by Jefferson.
He sniffed out that board and then powered it back in.
Pure Mike Clark, so strong, going back up with that one.
That's exactly what he's capable of, guys. So strong.
Ball outside, wants to get it to Duncan, and does. Shoots from the right block. East grabs the miss. Anthony's got his third rebound tonight. Pass to Lowry. Shoots the three. Lowry can't get that one to fall. Paul outside. That drops. And it comes off an assist from Griffin.
Well, we've seen that before. I mean, these two teammates hooking up, they've got a lot of chemistry together, no question.
They certainly do, and it's fun to watch. I mean, they really know what each other is thinking.
That is good. Final quarter here, and we're just over a minute and a half through it. Paul dishes to Durant. Lawson outside. Here's Duncan. Makes it off the glass.
Oh, a beautiful play there. That's some serious all-star action.
And that's what you come to see, that kind of play.
And the East All-Stars call time here.
You know, there's been some debate over the idea of the quote-unquote hot hand. One study implied that it actually doesn't exist. I always felt as a player that, you know, as soon as I felt the ball go through the hoop a couple times, I was much more likely to make that next one.
I can't fake it, just break it. And when I take it, see, I specialize in making all the girls get it. So bring your friends over, y'all come inside. We got a world premiere right here, not get lost. So don't change the bezel, turn it.
So an almost entirely new group now for the West. Dwight Howard, he's checked in for Duncan. Davis comes in for Blake Griffin. Damian Lillard's checked in for Chris Paul. And it's Jeremy Lin in for Tyler. Lawson. A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, guys, Tom Thibodeau had some advice for his team in that last timeout. Teamwork was the theme of the discussion in that huddle. He said, quote, good shots are there for us on the perimeter if we share the ball, work it around, and find the open man. Another part of what he said to them centered on his desire to see them shooting the ball every opportunity that presents itself. He said, fire away, guys. You've got the green light. With the minutes ticking down and the deficit still a big one, those adjustments have to be a chance worth taking, Kevin.
And as always, Doris, thank you. Good. Well, that hot hand study, Clark, we were talking about a little bit earlier, they realized it didn't take into account how difficult the shots were. And, you know, hot players take those heat check shots.
Yeah, they do. They do. And not to mention, they draw more defensive attention once they get on the roll. So I think it comes back to common sense. Definitely try to get a hot player the ball, but above all else, you want quality shots.
First team.
And we're about 3 minutes into the fourth quarter. Lillard outside. Durant attacking. Misses off the left iron.
Well contested shot there.
And that's the key defensively. You've got to make them work for it, challenge every shot.
Anthony. And it's Anthony again missing.
Well, as far as jump shots go, that's as high percentage as it gets.
I'm not sure how that didn't go down.
You know, passing the ball well on the perimeter has really opened things up offensively for this club.
Steve, it makes the game easy. I mean, 10 straight points off assist. That's impressive, but it's easy when you move the ball.
You know, over the years, we've seen injuries bother the same people over the course of their careers, while other players seem to stay healthy. And it may be just genetic makeup, it could be off-season training, but it does seem that staying healthy can also almost be considered a skill rather than just luck of the draw.
Right wing. Here's Jefferson. Misses off the right iron.
Oh, boy, he is just cold as ice. I don't think he's going to be the one to help them cut into the lead.
Lynn's shot is off. Injury management, such a big part, Clark, of the game today. So many factors going to staying healthy in the NBA and all sports, for that matter. How a player is built, how they train, how they play. And then there's that X factor, luck.
Yeah, no question, Kevin. I mean, we used to talk about the durability of what Russell Westbrook, a player who really hadn't missed a game since his high school days, and then all of a sudden a player crashes into his knee and he's out and has multiple repercussions from that. So as a player, and even as a broadcaster, I like to say you've got to control what you can control.
Mm-hmm. Here is Lillard. Pass to Davis.
Anthony Davis, an injury replacement in last year's All-Star game. And, of course, it was played on his home court in New Orleans. And he played well in limited minutes, looking to make a bigger splash this time around.
And Anthony Davis, this time, back on his own merits.
And he's certain to be a perennial all-star for years to come. His package is really high level from a skill standpoint. Some say he's already the third best player in the league. And at his age, boy, his future is limitless.
The baseline J. Rebound by the East All-Stars.
I think we've seen the defensive intensity start to ramp up a little bit.
Yeah, I think so, Steve. A little more effort here as the game has progressed.
Jefferson, that's good.
They have a little extra mojo going here. A little extra pep in their step. More hustle in this second half. They're doing a much better job in terms of second chance points.
Timeout called here. The West All-Stars decide to talk it over.
The big story from last year was that the NBA finally was able to come to an agreement with the Silna brothers. They were owners from the ABA who had a huge stake in the media rights of the NBA.
Walker's checked in for the East. Irving comes in for Kyle Lowry. Then for the West All-Stars, Duncan, he's checked in for Howard. Parsons comes in for Anthony Davis. And Blake Griffin subbed in for Damian Lillard. Conley kicks to Lynn. He dishes it to Duncan. And he overdid it there. Too much force, it looked like, on the foul, and he's called for the flagrant.
And that's the right call, no question about it. It's one thing to play tough D and commit a hard foul, but it's another to risk hurting your opponent with contact like that.
Yeah, very easy to get knocked off balance and take a nasty tumble when you get slammed into like that. And Duncan drops them both.
They haven't been effective against Duncan. He has 8 points, and he's added a steal to his stat line also.
Now, that's obviously not a big number, but you know, he's been doing some valuable defensive work for them.
Love's checked in for the East, and the shot is good. And it's 13 points for Chandler Parsons. Well, the Silna brothers out of St. Louis, they own the St. Louis franchise, and when the ABA and NBA merged, they cut a deal to get about 2% of the NBA's TV revenue with no end in sight.
And Kevin, one of the greatest deals in the history of deal making across all industries is that deal the Silna brothers were able to cut, but it has finally been negotiated away. And with the way the NBA has become a global phenomenon, televisions across across the globe. That was the best deal, as I just said, ever made. I'm happy they were able to put a cap on that deal for the owners that are now in the NBA.
And I'd like to make the announcement now. We're changing our names. That's Clark Silna. I'm Kevin Silna. Goodbye, everybody. To the left wing. The shot by Carter Williams. Nobody around. No good with the triple. Conley, the pass to Parsons. Guys, we see teams taking a more data-driven approach. Analytics now, a big part of things. You see that in the front office. And Steve, that brings in some new faces.
Yeah, in fact, in the last 2 years, over a third of the NBA teams have hired new decision makers. So only a couple played in the league, the majority being, more of the analytical type. So there's definitely been a sea change in terms of NBA leadership.
1:25 left in the fourth quarter. Lynn with the steal. Back to Duncan. The basket good off the assist from Lynn. Lynn's got 9 assists in the game. Great passing.
And for basketball lifers looking for roles in front offices, I think it's natural to feel threatened by the influx of more analytical minds. The feeling is, and I think it's an accurate one, that those analytical minds are favored because a lot of the owners come from a similar educational background in terms of being comfortable with numbers and wanting to measure things more and attach value to measurements as opposed to feel and experience of playing.
Well, I don't think the math guys are going away anytime soon in the NBA. I think the best organizations kind of take a holistic approach. They incorporate advanced stats and cap specialists, but there's also a lot of thought in terms of players who fit and experience and youth. It really is kind of one big concoction.
The pass to Duncan. And it's blocked by Love. Out to Conley. Second shot opportunity. Drained for 2 points.
Well, I think he shot the ball well, guys, but I don't think he shot it enough. The more shots he gets from here on out, the more they'll stretch out this lead.
Irving attacking, and it's blocked. And they'll keep possession. Here's Wade. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down. Absolutely, Clark. No one in his airspace on that dunk.
Yeah, but come on, Kevin. The defense can't let that happen.
I hope they let it happen more. It's fun to watch that guy fly.
Just a gift, 2 points they gave up. That's awful.
And that one falls for Lynn. The East making a switch. Jefferson's checked in. And so he makes both from the line. And turnovers, Clark and Steve, have been the issue for him.
Yeah, it sure has been the case. I mean, turnovers are like missing breakfast. Eventually, it's going to cost you.
Why does it always come back to food, Clark?
Here's Lynn. That's good, and a nice assist from Durant. Lynn's got 44.
Just look at how quickly their lead has grown over the course of the last few possessions.
Boy, they've really saved their best for last, haven't they?
Again, Irving missing. So no problem for the West All-Stars as they get the win.
Hey, guys, I really like the way they've gelled as a team out there. They'll take the bragging rights home for the rest of the season.
Of course, nobody too worried about the outcome in this game. They're just happy to have played in